62 shots. Across 2 games, Turkey had 62 attempts on goal, more than any other team at this tournament. They had Arda Güler, they had Kenan Yildiz. They were ranked above half the teams still competing right now. They pressed, they attacked, they created chance after chance. They scored 0 goals, and they are already home. That is not a fluke. That is not bad luck. That is the 2026 World Cup telling you something. And if you have been watching the highlights without hearing what the tournament is actually saying, this is your catch-up, because 1 week in and counting, the gap between what everyone predicted and what is actually happening on this pitch is wider than it has been at any World Cup in recent memory. Some of the teams the world was sold on are wobbling. Some of the teams nobody was talking about are already through. And the group stage is not even finished yet. Here is what we actually know. Most of the noise this week has been about records, and fairly so. But underneath the headlines, 3 things happened that were not noise. They were proof. The first is Argentina. Before the tournament, the conversation around Lionel Messi had drifted somewhere uncomfortable. He had spent 2 seasons in MLS. The questions were quiet, almost apologetic, but they were there. Was this the tournament where he finally faded? Was 2022 the peak, and everything after just a farewell lap? He answered that question in Kansas City on June the 16th. His first ever World Cup hat-trick at 38 years old against Algeria. 3 goals of entirely different varieties. A long-range screamer, a poacher's finish, a curled effort into the corner. He defended. He won duels. He tracked runners. His Who Scored rating for that performance was a perfect 10.0, the highest individual match rating of the tournament so far. This was not Messi coasting through a group stage opener on reputation. This was Messi in the kind of complete performance that only happens when a player is genuinely, frighteningly at their peak. He now stands level with Miroslav Klose on 16 World Cup goals, the most in men's tournament history. The pre-tournament obituaries were wrong, and they were wrong by a distance. Argentina looked like what defending champions are supposed to look like. But Argentina are not even the team that proved the most this week. Germany did. 7 goals against Curacao, then 2 more against Ivory Coast, a team that had beaten Ecuador in their opener, running at defenders with the kind of confidence that only comes when everything around you is working. Dennis Undav, off the bench, looking like a starter anywhere else in this tournament. The pressing structure giving opposition midfields no moment to breathe. Germany are the team most people are not talking about as a potential winner of this tournament. That will not last much longer. And then there is Norway. Erling Haaland scored twice against Iraq, the first player in Norwegian history to score a brace at a World Cup. Norway pressed with the same intensity in the 80th minute as they did at kickoff. They are already qualified, already through. Nobody had Norway in their Final 4 coming into this tournament. That may have been a serious mistake. 3 teams proved something in week 1. A much longer list of teams proved something they did not want to. This is where it gets more complicated, because the most important stories of the opening week are not the ones with clean conclusions. They are the ones that cracked a door open and then left it swinging. Start with France. 3 goals to 1 over Senegal in Game 1. 3 goals to 0 over Iraq in Game 2. Mbappe scored twice against Senegal, including a stunning long-range strike in stoppage time that is already one of the goals of the tournament. That brace moved him to 14 World Cup goals, surpassing Just Fontaine as France's all-time leading scorer in the competition. At 27 years old, the chase for Klose's record no longer feels inevitable. It feels imminent. But here is the part most coverage skips over. Senegal and Iraq are not the teams that will decide whether France win the 2026 World Cup. The real France question, the question that has broken them at every major tournament since 2018, is whether they hold together under knockout pressure, when the opposition is genuinely elite and the game turns on a single moment. In 2022, they led in the final and lost on penalties. In 2021, they were eliminated from the Euros by Switzerland as heavy favorites. Every time this squad reaches the moment that matters, something cracks. Nothing in this opening week answered that question. It could not. They have not faced the test yet. Now for the story that generated the most drama. Cristiano Ronaldo's first game at this World Cup was against DR Congo. It ended 1-1. Ronaldo failed to score. He had 3 shots, none on target. He looked peripheral. The debate that has followed him into every major tournament since 2018, whether he is still the player Portugal actually need, resurfaced immediately. Then came Uzbekistan. Ronaldo scored twice in the first half. A near-post dart from a low cross, trademark movement, trademark finish. Portugal won 5-0. He became the first player in the history of football to score at 6 different World Cups. 6 World Cups! 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, 2026. Every single one. That is not a statistic. That is a career compressed into a single number. But the question has not gone away. DR Congo suggested one version of Portugal. Uzbekistan suggested another. Colombia in the final group game will give the real answer. Because Colombia are neither DR Congo nor Uzbekistan. They are one of the best teams at this tournament, already through to the knockouts, with a squad that presses high, transitions fast, and will not spend 90 minutes sitting back waiting for Ronaldo to find his rhythm. That game is the one that matters. And then there is England. Game 1 against Croatia. 4 goals. 2 from Kane, 1 from Bellingham, 1 from Rashford. An attacking display that looked like a genuine title contender. Tuchel's unexpected squad selections, the ones that drew criticism before a ball was kicked, suddenly looked inspired. Game 2 against Ghana. 0 goals. 79% possession. The highest possession any team has recorded without scoring in 60 years of World Cup football. Kane missed from 6 yards when the goal was gaping. A Ghana side with 2 shots in the entire match walked away with a point. 2 completely different Englands in 96 hours. The possession was record-breaking. The output was non-existent. This is not a new problem. For the 4th consecutive major tournament, England drew their second group stage game without scoring. 2014, 2018, 2021, 2026. The pattern is so consistent it has stopped feeling like coincidence and started feeling like identity. The question is not whether England have the quality to go deep. Kane, Bellingham, Saka when fit. They obviously do. The question is which England shows up when a knockout match is on the line. History has a strong opinion about that. And then there is the story nobody is taking seriously enough. Morocco drew Brazil, Cape Verde held Spain to a goalless draw in Game 1, then drew 2-2 with Uruguay in Game 2. DR Congo earned a point off Portugal, Japan are top of their group, Canada demolished Qatar 6-0. Scotland beat Haiti for their first World Cup win since 1990. The gap between the traditional powers and the rest of the field is simply not showing up on the scoreboard. And in a 48-team tournament where 8 third-place finishers advance to the knockout rounds, the chaos has not even started yet. What we still do not know. Can Spain actually win this? They came in as many people's favorite, 8 Barcelona players, a squad with the technical quality to dismantle anyone and the chemistry to do it without thinking. Game 1 against Cape Verde versus Game 2 against Saudi Arabia. The group stage is not finished. The stories are not settled. And every team still standing has shown something in the last week and counting, a strength that could carry them, or a flaw that will eventually be found. 3 teams have proved they are ready. A longer list has suggested they might be. And the teams everyone expects to be lifting that trophy on July the 19th in New Jersey have each shown, quietly, exactly the kind of vulnerability that tournaments like this one exist to expose.